You are looking live. My name is Rob Helmick. Maria Helmick is upstairs trading today because we know this is going to be a huge down day. Notice the lights are red. We've got a new red tie today. Always dress for the job you don't have. I like to dress for this job because I will never get a job where they would make me wear a tie again. I can assure you of that. If you're new to our trading channel, my name is Rob Helmick. I'm a former internet CEO and attorney. I trade about 30,000 0dte SPX every single year. My wife, Maria Helmick, she's been trading with me for 25 years, and she is a former banker and one of the greatest traders I have ever met. She made $4 million her first year that we started trading options based upon some mathematics that she figured out, and she has just done better and better ever since then. So today what we're going to do is we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk about the markets as soon as they open. Looks like they're going to probably open down pretty big, it'd be my guess. And then again at 8 p.m. when the Japanese guys start kicking in, I'm guessing it's going to go down again. We got about 4 minutes to the open. We are up in our $1 million account. We started in March. We started another one in a $30,000 account in March. I think they're up around 100% annual rate of return, right around 50% in the first 6 months or so, 5 or 6 months. And we'll get into all the details in that. Then not only that, we use AI to figure out the trades that we do, about 200 a day. And we run those through back testing through Options Omega is the software. Then all of our trades are done by robot. About, like I said, about 150 to 180 trades per day. We'll go into the great detail on that. But not only that, no one else on the internet is going to do this. We're going to give you our trades, for most of our trades for the week. Okay, we'll give you all the trades in the $30,000 account. We'll give you many trades in the $1 million account so you can follow along. We do it every week. And if you don't know, every single week, every single day at 3:25 is that what it is? I think it's 3:25. We come on Monday through Friday, and you can watch us trade live. You can see all of our losses and wins in real time. We show it to you. We even make trades. We watch the robot make trades. And not only that, we let the chat room vote on trades. And the chat room can decide whether I'm going to spend $600 on a put credit spread or a call credit spread. They like to say they're spending daddy's money. And you know what? Honestly, they've actually been winning. It's about like 8-2. So they've been winning me a couple $1,000, and I appreciate that, fellas. That's the only payment I ever get. We will never ask you for money. We have our own Discord. All that's in the comments or in any of the other videos that we do. The only payment we ask for, the simple payment, is to come into the chat room, say hello, say you're a trading addict, and in the comments below, it would be great if you made a comment. Just say hello, say addict or whatever. I will personally respond to every single comment that's made in any of our videos. That's the only payment we get, and we consider that absolute pure gold. To the extent you can make a comment in the chat room or really in the comments on the videos, that's the real cheese, as they like to say. All right, we are running a poll today. There will be no live feed tomorrow. Well, there will be one, but it'll be on Theta Profits YouTube channel. Maria and I, and they were nice enough to invite 25 traders, including Maria and I, to do 7 hours of live trading. Each person gets 10 minutes, but they got Maria and I slated for an hour, actually from 10 to 11. And then, or that's maybe just me. And then Maria has her own spot from 1 to 2. And then I'm coming back from 3 to 4 with Maria. And we're going to do our live show at 3:30 on there for all the fans at Theta Profits. And they won't know what the heck is going on. And when you guys come into the chat room, I hope you do, we will know that you are the regulars, and we will speak directly to you. Hopefully you speak to us, and you can show them how it's done in picking the put credit spread or call credit spread. So, all right, we've got a poll today to see whether or not you're going to be able to watch. And it looks like 21% will be watching over an hour. Some are not watching, but they will watch replay. And some are going to, 36% over 3 hours. Oh, my gosh, that's fantastic. I see we've got Albacore in there. Lewis is in the chat room. Who else is in there? I got this blocking my view. I can't see all the chat. I'm guessing. I thought I saw a couple other people. I know there's more people out there. Please feel free to come on into the chat room and say hello. Any questions you want, I'm happy to answer them. Let's look at the time here. I'm thinking this thing is going to open up huge to the downside. This is my real personal account. This is all the trades. These are just crazy Ivans. The only thing I've gone on, I'm using about 19% of my buying power. So you're opening for an update on the market. I think we're going to have a huge to the downside. Let's see. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Look at that. What do you know? What do you know about that? huge to the downside, down 100. I thought it'd be down 500 points. It's only down 170. I look at the Qs because I trade the Crazy Ivans. And if you don't know what a Crazy Ivan, we got a lot of information on the YouTube channel about that. My gosh, look at that. It's coming up. I cannot believe it. That's awesome. I thought for sure when Trump was talking about putting boots on the ground or blowing people up, whatever he's talking about this week, that would have driven the market down, but not really. I mean, 166. I don't get out of bed for 166 down. That's nothing. The great thing, if you don't know, what I do, and this is a trade that my wife Maria started. We used to be on Tasty Trade quite a bit. Actually, we just did something on them about an hour of talking about all kinds of different things, including the March Madness, which we're up on in our wagers. I'm happy to say, as we always are in the March Madness, they give away money on that one. But if you want to watch it and see how I trade on that, on the March Madness every year, you can watch that there. I'm fixated by this going to the upside. I'm flabbergasted. It's almost as if this market is random, and that is why we don't, when we trade 0DTEs, we don't worry about what Trump says. We don't worry about the charts. We don't worry about triple witching or anything. We don't worry about FMO. We do worry about FMOC days when Powell is the chairman because he's got an axe to grind with Trump. But other than that, we don't follow any of that stuff. All we do is we just bet or trade against other traders. That's what we do. And so we run 7 million trades through a backtesting software to figure out what these other traders have done or plan to do. And then we try and go where they are not. That is the whole game to what we're doing. So here's the idea. You've heard me say it before, and I will say it again, is that there is a herd of traders in the 0dte SPX, and they trade every day, all day long, million more in this market than any other of all the option market put together. And they're over here selling for $1. We're premium sellers. They're selling premium over there, puts and calls. So we want to be over here. If they're selling for $1, we want to be over here selling for $1.50. It's simple math, right? We know that the premium sellers get overpaid for the risk that they take. It's like selling insurance and you get overpaid for that insurance, but they're selling over here for $1. So we're just going to sell it over here for $1.50. And what's going to happen is over time, they're going to look over here. They're going to say, hey, wait a minute. What the heck? We want to go over here. So they're going to come over here and they're going to start selling and we're going to go back over here and sell. And that's the game. That's the whole game. There's not a lot of, it's not like chess. There's a lot of thinking going on here. This head is pretty much empty. Ask Maria. She will confirm that fact. But you don't have to be smart to trade 0DTEs. You just have to be informed. So that's why I say, well, all these other traders are not stupid. They're just not informed, okay? They don't have access to the math like we do. They don't understand how statistics work. They don't understand that you can have a losing day and 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 losing days in a row. They don't understand that that doesn't matter. It does not matter whether we win or lose a trade. It does not matter whether we win or lose a day. It does not matter whether we win or lose a week. We, as Maria is often fond of saying about trading, we're not in it for one trade. We're not in it for one time. We're in it for a long time. So what you'd want to do is you want to look at the end of the year and say, well, geez, if it went up from here to here, went from here to here in 6 months, do I care that it was all over the place? Some days winning, some days losing. No, you don't care. No, because the game is the portfolio. That's the game, okay? That's the game. It's not an individual trade. It's not the game. Don't panic. However, a lot of what we do takes patience. The market is a great tester of patience. As an old trader once told me, Rob, the market takes money from the impatient and gives it to the patient. And every day you get to decide which one you're going to be. So are you going to be an impatient trader or a patient trader? Because if you're a patient trader, you're going to get paid. Another trader once told me, are you an American or Americant? You want to be an American. Can be patient. That's the game. Let's look in the chat room. What do you mean you're selling over there $1.50 where they're at $1? Well, what I mean, Albacore, is that when you have a bunch of traders over here, right? Let's say that everybody wants to trade, put credit spreads and call credit spreads throughout the day. There's 390 trading minutes. There's all types of different combinations you can do. And they're going to be trading these combinations of premium, wing width, profit target, stop losses. They're going to be doing all those combinations over here, but there's a whole bunch of them. If there's a whole bunch of them, they will drive the price down. We know when there's a whole bunch of sellers, the price goes down. So we just want to be the only sellers over here. In other words, we're indifferent as to what we sell. All of this has a positive expected value. It's just that the expected value is even more positive when we're the only ones selling it because we can charge more. That's the whole game. We just want to charge more than what they can charge. So if we're over here with very few sellers and they're over there with very many sellers, we want to stay over here. Now, they're going to move. They're going to move around. And our job is to figure out where they're going. And so that's what backtesting is all about. That's why we look at millions and millions of trades. And we say, well, where are they getting the most premium and where are they getting the least premium? And we're going to keep trading where they get the most premium. And someone says, well, okay, so Rob, you get 7 million trades, you feed it into AI, right? And then AI spits out the top 200, 250 trades to you, and then you manually manipulate those trades. Whatever you do, the magic you do in Rob's empty head, then I give it back to AI, and AI then looks at some things like what is your loss tolerance, risk tolerance, what is the size of your account, things like that, because smaller accounts are going to have a more narrow wing width on their put credit spreads and call credit spreads, so they're not going to make as much money. The whole system is set up against a small trader. You can still make money, but it's set up against you, right? It's set up against us. That's just the way it is. So the wider wing width, you have more advantages. So what happens is AI says, well, in the last 6 months, the best place to sell was over here. This is where you really got, these guys won too. They didn't win much. Over here, they won a whole boatload. So we want to trade over here. Now, will those 250 trades, let's just zoom in here. So really, I want to hammer this point home. Will those 250 trades be the top 250 trades this week? No, they will not. They will not. Will they be among the top 100,000? Maybe. Will they be in the top million? Maybe. But in the top million, they're still in the top 7th, right? And if I'm going to trade 200 trades a day or 150 trades a day, let's take a mixture of the top 200 for the last 6 months. And it's possible they'll be at the bottom, but it's probable that they're going to be near the top. Are they going to be top ones? Probably not. But are they going to be near the top? Yes, it's highly probable. How do I know? Because I've done over 17,000 trades in the last 5.5 months, and I'm up 55% in 5 months. So, or 48% in 5 months. So, yeah, I know that it's going to work. I've seen it work in real life, not just in back testing, in real life. And I've seen it work for the $30,000 account and for the $1 million account. And there's a lot of traders in here, in this chat room, in our Discord that have been following along, although you're not supposed to. And by the way, my lawyers want me to tell you, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is for educational purposes only. Do not copy us. Do your own diligence. And you can lose and probably will lose all your money if you follow Rob. However, you can look and see what the trades are on Sunday night. I'm going to give you those trades. Okay, so that's the answer to the question. Great question. How Rob finally made it. Missed last couple of Sunday shows. Good to see you in there, Eric. Time Decay, Yvonne's in there. Lewis, Donald D. You have 2 open, 0dte SPX PCSs. Otherwise, I need to roll them down and out. Well, this market has come back. It was down, and it is back up. What we opened down 175. And look at this. I think we were down here at 23,890. Maria said it's not. Maria told me this morning it's not going to go under 23.8. I said, you're out of your mind. It's going to go below 23.8. And once again, Maria was right. It didn't even get within 90 points of her. So shows you what I know. All right. Hi, Rob. Missed a couple of shows. What do you mean you're selling over there? We talked about that. Is that your version of the Hokey Pokey? Where do I find the Discord? Look in our videos in the description, and you'll see the Discord. It's in all of them in there. And we've got, Maria was telling me we got like 700 people in there. We get some fakers in there. Be careful. Our name is DAB. We live in Daytona Beach, Florida. And so 81 degrees today, went surfing, laying on the beach. It was nice. And I lost my train of thought because I enjoy going on the beach so much. But so we do put in there, we get a lot of fakers. So it's DAB options in the Discord, and they write like DAP options or DAB options period or period DB, and they're trying to get money. We will never ask you for money. Everything we do is free, much to my grandchildren's chagrin. So, okay, the market now looks like it's it keeps now it's under. Gosh, it's only down 100. So if you don't know what to drink in your life, drink iced tea with lemon, sugar free, and put apple cider vinegar in it. 40 years cannot be all wrong. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I live on that stuff. I have 3 or 4 of those a day, and these are not small cups. You know, Maria got me the big ones because I'm a big gulper. So, okay, let's take a look at the trades. This is what you came here for. Let's quit fooling around. Let's look at the poll one more time. Wow, look at that. 29% are real addicts. They're going to watch for over 3 hours. Good for you. 38% no, but they'll watch the replay, and 33% say that they'll be watching over an hour, but probably not over 3 hours. That's awesome. That's awesome. So let's take a look and see where we are with these trades so that I know that's what you came here for, and I don't blame you. So let's take a look, see, here we go. All right. So here we go. So we are up $418,605 since October 1st. I think I've been pretty clear in what we do here. And so you understand it. These are some interesting statistics that I saw today. Will the market be up or down? Up in the comments, down in the comments below. I have a sneaking suspicion that this market's going to be up before Friday. So I'm going to call it 23,890 is where we opened. I think we will be above 23,890. We might go below there if there's some rigmarole, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know why. I just think that there is going to be some wearing down of the folks involved in this conflict, and I don't think that's going to be on our side. But I could be wrong. You know, certainly I have been wrong before. Look at it. Albacore says down. Wow, right in there. Why does YouTube have against you mentioning apple cider? They don't like me to say the name of the brand, I guess, without getting some payment. I don't. It's good stuff. Whatever. So, okay, let's go on. So here we go. Here's the profit. Here's a couple of ideas we had. Oh, look at this. We are making about $3,578 per trading day. We don't trade, obviously, every day. We don't trade Saturdays and Sundays, although we do crazy Ivans when the futures is open. And that's another reason we like trading futures is because it's open 23 hours a day, 5 days a week, which is awesome, especially when you're in wars and stuff. And when we see that market go down 300 points, Maria gets up and runs downstairs. I've already got crazy Ivans in, but she's going to trade those all night long. And some of the most money she's ever made has been at the nighttime when she's just killed it. So, all right. So what we do is we trade about 150 or so a day of these things in the 0dte's. And we have 60% of our days are winners, and we've been profitable every month. February was pretty thin, like $2,100, but still, every month has been green since we started, right? Our max drawdown is only 5.7%. I'm going to show you that that is actually way overstated, and you'll see why in just a second. So our Sharpe ratio is 3.28. People say, well, what's a Sharpe ratio? What can a lot of hedge funds, a lot of highfalutin numbers types, engineers, mathematicians, statisticians, finance people, hedge funds, big funds, little funds, all your funds. They're your rich people. They're going to use this Sharpe ratio 3.28. Okay. Look it up on ChatGPT. But what you're going to find is that most retail trading systems have a 0.5 to 1.5 Sharpe ratio. A lot of professional hedge funds, some of the best will be 1 to 2. That's BlackRock and those guys, Vanguard, Fidelity. And then the very best hedge funds, they might be somewhere between 2 and 3. There are a few elite quant funds, algo funds. Our AI bot, our AI algo, which we were going to start naming Phil, I think, here pretty soon, Maria said. It has a Sharpe ratio of 3.28. I think that's what it was. Yeah, 3.28. So 3.28, that is elite. You know, that is elite. Now, we've only been doing it for 5.5 months. I get it. It's only been 16, 17,000 trades. I get it. But that's still a lot of trades. That's still enough time. You know, it's over 100 trading days. So that's enough. There's blue collar options is in there. Hello to you. So let's take a look now. Longest losing streak, 3 days. That surprised me. I tell you, this is mostly mental, right? What Yogi Berra said, that investing is 90% mental and the other half is all math. But, you know, you have to remember that the long days feel worse than the winning days. Gamblers will always tell you they remember all their losses. They can hardly remember any of their wins. Their losses really hurt. And when you're as careful with money as I am, some would say I'm cheap. I really remember the losing days, and they piss me off more than I can even tell you. And I got to get control of my mind because we're only winning 60% of the time. It doesn't take a rocket science. You don't have to go to a private school to figure out that means you're going to lose 40% of the time. So when you get up in the morning, you can look at your significant other, friend, whatever, your dog, and say, well, I got a 40% chance of running right into a pair of steak knives today. So that's where you are. When you're in this business, be prepared to lose because you are going to lose, okay? You are going to lose. Over time, you're going to win, but you are going to lose. It's not a guarantee. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. All right. So not only do we have an edge in the number of days and winning days, but we also have an edge in the number of trades. We win 59.7% of our trades, right? Lewis asks, could the SPX 0DT strategies work in SPY to get smaller with more quantity of trades for a smaller account? It's Lewis, the short answer is no. And the reason is because the fees and commission eat you alive and the spreads are so wide, it's very difficult. I like to tell people 20,000 buying power, you could do it. 30,000 buying power is where my comfort zone is. With 30,000 buying power, we've turned that into 45,000, something like that in 5.5 months. So it's great money, you know. But you really need to have about 30,000. When I talk about a $30,000 account and a $1 million account, I want to be very clear. I'm talking about buying power, okay? The only fair way to do it is to talk about buying power. If I was to talk about account size, that's unfair because someone with $1 million account might want to put it all in SPX, and someone with $1 million account might want to put, like I do, I put 30% in the Crazy Ivans. I hold back 5% as safety, and then I only use 65% for 0DTE. So when I say $1 million account, that means it's $1 million in buying power. And because we're up 400,000, that means I'm using $1.4 million today, right? So this week, I'll be using $1.4 million worth of buying power every single day. I'm about ready to show you what the trades are that I'm going to be putting on. Where is Maria? Ticker Watch 67 wants to know. Maria is upstairs trading. If you hear her yelling and screaming, that's what she does. She's Italian, and so that is part of what you get when you marry an Italian gal. I did not know that at the time, and that came as quite a shock to me. I will tell you, I am a Presbyterian from Iowa, and we hold all our feelings in. We never express our feelings so that we have lots of mental problems when we get older. But Italians, they don't worry about that. What do you think, Maria, is a question she's never had asked of her because she is happy to tell you how she feels at all times. And most of the time, she's not happy. So she could be happier. I always say, this will make you happy. Now I say, this will make you happier. Happier is what it will make her. But she's great. I love her very much. We've traded every single day. And it's really important to trade with somebody that you know, love, or can hold you accountable. I strongly believe it's important to not only trade with them, if you can't trade with them, at least tell them or text them every single day, up or down, every single day, up or down, because you're going to be down 40% of the time. And you don't want a revenge trade. You don't want to sneak around. We've all heard the stories, right? The husband traded, lost a lot of money, told his wife at the end, and she's all, to get divorced. And it's all because he wasn't honest with her. Just be honest from the start. And let me tell you, the best traders in the world are women. Okay. And my grandkids say, Grandpa, you can't say that. There's no difference between men and women. Didn't you know that? I said, no, I didn't know that. I've been around 68 years, and in my observation and in my experience, there's a dramatic difference. You give my granddaughters a pencil, they'll draw you a pretty flower. You give my grandsons a pencil, they'll try and stab you. And I don't know why that is, but that's been my observation. But women are planners. They are thinkers. They are great farmers. They work in groups of people. You ever see women, they go shopping together, they go to the bathroom together. Men are hunters, they go out, they want to compete. That's why they love sports. Women don't care about sports. They want to see a group. And by the way, this is the way it works around my house. 6 o'clock. Hey, honey, what's for dinner? Let me tell you what works in her mind. A week ago, she planned out what was for dinner for the whole week. She figured out everything she needed. She looked in the refrigerator, saw what we had, what we didn't have. She made a list. She went to the store. She bought all the stuff. She got it all organized. She got the recipes out. She started cooking it at 9 in the morning. She's Italian, so, it's all smells of tomatoes and whatever. And she's protecting that, keeping everybody away from it until 6 o'clock. And I come up to her at 5 minutes 6, what's for dinner? And she looks at me like, well, you're an idiot. I've been working on this for a week. What can you possibly not know what's for dinner? I'm a guy. I didn't plan ahead. So women are constantly, you ever see, they're constantly shopping. Like, why are you shopping so much? I don't know. I love it. What they're doing is they're planning. That's back testing. They're looking for good deals. They're looking for stuff that you need, want, or should acquire. That's back testing. Women are constantly back testing. They've been back testing since they were little girls. And now with the internet, they're on their phones back testing all the time. They're just looking for stuff, gathering information. That's what back testing is. So you got the greatest back tester in the world sitting there right beside you. Just get her involved in the trading, man. It's as good as it can get. And let me tell you, put your male ego aside. She knows what the hell she's talking about. If you get her to understand what the trading is all about, she will be able to predict. Maria can tell me in the morning, this is going to be a bad day for 0DT. I said, send me a text because you don't know. You can't know. You'll never know. I don't know how she knows. I've seen it happen. Women's intuition is true. It is real. I can't explain it. I'm a mathematician. I can't explain it, but I'm telling you, hold yourself accountable. And I can't say it, but if you have a choice between a boy trader and a girl trader, my experience are better. Okay, so I'm probably going to get in trouble here now. Maria says she's upstairs getting ready for the show tomorrow. Oh, because of the Norway show. Yeah. All right. So how do you, so let's see. I use 100% of buying power daily, assuming no stops. Yes, I use 100% of my allocated buying power. So I have, let's say that I have a fairly large account. I'm going to allocate 30% of it above the buying power to Crazy Ivans. I'll hold back 5%. So then I'll have 65% left. And I will allocate all that to 0DTs. I ask when we back test the trades, we know what for the last 6 months, what the buying power has been for the trades that I'm putting on. I'm not using all my buying power at full boat for the Crazy Ivans. If I was, then I would pull back and probably use about 60% for the 0DTs, because if we're in a high VIX, it will require a little bit more buying power. But yeah, generally speaking, I'm in that, for the $1.4 million account, I'll be using $1.4 million worth of buying power a day. That's what I mean. Have I back tested the Aaron Fly? No. Somebody came on today in the Discord and wanted me to talk about somebody else's trades. I said, look, I'm not interested. I'm very interested in other person's trades. I just don't want to put them in the Discord, because then we'll just get floods. It's endless people wanting to know about different people's trades. I always have one question when someone tells me about a trade. What's it doing the back test, right? People will come to you at Thanksgiving dinner. Everyone's going to tell you great trades that they have. You say, how many times you trade it? They're going to say, I trade it all the time. I say, how many times? Twice a day. Twice a day. How many days a year? Every day. Every single trading day. There's 250 trading days in a year. You do it twice a day. That's 500 trades. How's it done over those 500 trades? Great. Tell me a percentage. How much? 50, 60? What's the winning percentage? 100%, 85, whatever it is. Okay, fine. Say, well, my friend Rob Helmick, he does 7 million trades. 7 million trades. Yeah, every week he backtests 7 million trades. So I'm not saying that those trades are bad. Your uncle's trade could be fantastic, but his information is limited to 500 backtests. Mine has 7 million. So I'm better informed. I'm not smarter. I'm not a better trader. I just have more information, and I use AI to process that information. That's all it is. So in the past, you could go on the internet and you could see these trading gurus, and they're great. A lot of them are great. They were in the pits and they traded for years, and they have back tested in the sense that they have done trades for years and years and years. One of the founders of Tasty Trade came to me just the other day, and he said, and if I said his name, you all know who he is. He said to me, Rob, I was listening to you the other day. I watched your show. Thank you very much. And, it's funny. It occurred to me, you backtest in one weekend more trades than I made in 30 years on the floor of the exchange. That's what and you remember all of them. He said, I can't remember what I did last night. He said, but your AI remembers all of them. I said, yeah. He said, that's a big advantage. I said, it is a big advantage. I agree. That's why we're doing so great. All right. Backtest will not show you the worst case scenario. A black swan hasn't happened yet. A test risk could cause a max spread with loss. It could. I've done 17,000 trades on it. I've done for years and years trades, and I can show you why I rest my trades at the CBOE, and I do a single trade with a stop market loss order. And in my experience, I have never had more than a 600% trade. That is a stop loss at 600% on a 225% trade. And even then, the CBOE gave me all my money back without me asking. So it's not been my experience. I've been through a lot of black swans, and I understand the what if and oh my gosh, and yes, this could happen. Yes, and when you walk across the street in New York City, you could get hit by a cab, but it doesn't mean you will. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No. And there are precautions you could take, like looking both ways before you cross the street. Only crossing at the light, only crossing when you have the walk sign. Could a cab still? Yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda. And you can get paralysis by analysis. But in my experience, that has not been the case whatsoever. And in my back testing, that has not been the case. Yes, you can lose some and you can have some problems, but the back testing will also take a look at in real life, my back testing, because I also combine in my real life trades. So we take a look at the real life trades, and we've not had that experience. I'm not saying it won't happen. I say it can happen. And yes, Trump tweets can cause a problem, but there's always been something that drives the market, some silliness, and you just have to say, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. So what are we going to do to accommodate that so we can still trade? Can we still trade profitably with all those problems? Trump really started tweeting a lot on April 2nd. So let's see what's happened since then, right? That's what we've done. We've actually back tested all the way back to March 16th of 2020 or 2022 when the 0dte's happened. So, and we back tested every single minute of every single trading day. So, okay, let's take a look. So this is how we calculate the compound annual growth rate. Somebody argued with me the other day about the compound annual growth rate. And so I just wanted to show people how we calculate it so they don't get bent out of shape. And so you can see, now here we go. So here we have 16,000. I don't know if you can see my mouse or not. There it is, 16,800 trades. This is on a $1 million account. We made $418,000, and it's up and down and up and down and up and down. And there's some downs, and everybody is in a panic on these days. But the reality is that these days, nobody remembers them now. Nobody remembers them. NQ almost green. What? Eric, you got to be, oh my gosh, down 32. It's almost as if this market is random. This is crazy. This is crazy. I am loving this. Would I consider NQ for 0dte? They seem juicy, slightly wider spreads though. Yeah, way wider spreads, a lot more commission, and not nearly as many people trade them. You're talking about maybe open orders of open interest of 1,000, and I'll show you that in just a second. And very, very few trades where you're talking about hundreds of thousands of trades in the SPX. Okay, so here we are. We've done pretty good, and now look at the $30,000 account. It's up 14,600, having done 3,059 trades. Now it's a little more volatile, right? Because it's 50 wide wings. So let's look. Here's the 30. Here's the 1 million. 30,000, 1 million. 30,000, 1 million. It's pretty similar, right? And if I told you 5.5 months ago on October 1st, you're going to have $1.4 million in your pocket come, what day is today? March 22nd. You'd say, yes, please. I'll take all of that I can. So people come to me, Rob, we're going to size down because we lost a couple of days. And by the way, I did it. When there was that crazy tweet by the Department of Energy, I stepped back for 2 days or whatever it was, and I lost out on $40,000. Not only did I lose $65,000 in one day because of that stupid tweet that the Department of Energy put out, but I missed out on $41,000 the next 2 days because I stupidly did not trust the back test. So this number up here, by the way, would have been up another $41,000 if I had followed the math. So even yours truly is stupid. Ask Maria. I'm still stupid enough to not follow the back test, okay? So let's take a look. Here we are. All right. So now this is the monthly P&L. And yes, I realize that January was not the best, right? January was low, but it's pretty consistent, right? It's pretty consistent month over month. And well, what about week to week? I'm glad you asked. Week to week is really consistent. Look, when we had a down week, boom, we've come right back every single time. Even on that one, we came back, even on that one. So what happened here? This was the Department of Energy. The kid in the morning, he misread a CNN scroll on the bottom and thought that a Navy ship of ours had escorted an oil tanker through the Strait of Hormuz. If that had happened, then the oil would have started flowing. The market would have gone up huge, which it did. It went up some gigantic amount, 500 points in the Qs in literally 2 minutes. Unfortunately, that was not true. And so that was at 10:04. At 2:04, the Department of Energy took that tweet back. So then it dropped. As you know, if you're a multiple entry iron condor trader, you're putting on a put credit spread, call credit spread. You just want to stay in the middle. As long as you don't get M&M'd, if you don't get whacked out on both sides, you're going to do just fine. Unfortunately, what happened is the move was so great, it whacked out all of our calls to the upside first, and then it whacked out all of our puts to the downside. So we lost $65,000 that day. Now, that's interesting is that day that we lost $65,000 on that one move, right? That's it, one day. If you took that day out, that would have been a winning week, okay? If you would have traded the next 2 days, this $60,000 would have been $20,000. It would have been up here. So woulda, coulda, shoulda. I get it. I didn't do it, so I can't claim it. But I'm telling you, the math, are we going to track the math or are we going to track me? Because they turn out they were supposed to be the same, but they're stupidly not the same. And that was my own fault. So that's a $40,000 mistake that I made. All right. Now, the trades are next. I'm going to show you the entry time. I'm going to show you the premium. I'm going to show you whether it's a multiple entry iron condor or exponential moving average. I'm going to show you what the stop loss is. I'm going to show you what the wing width is. I'm going to show you what the profit target is. If you don't know what those things are, do not do any of these trades. We have a five-part series that talks about everything you're supposed to do. I want to make sure if that comes up. And that shows you everything that we do in excruciating detail. You can come on in the chat room and ask me all kinds of questions. I'll be happy to answer them. 3:25, I think it is, that we do it on Monday through Friday. And then I wish somebody would check on that. I think it's 3:25. And then we do it on 5:55 on Sundays. Okay. So let's take a look. Here are the trades. Okay. What are these? These are the trades that I'm going to be putting on in the small account. So here's the entry time. This is East Coast time. People ask me right now, the time, if you want to know if you're in Scotland or somewhere, is 6:32 p.m. So we're going to put these on at 10:57. The first number here is the premium. And we're talking about, we're going to put on a put credit spread and a call credit spread on a multiple entry iron condor. So on the put credit spread, that's going to be a short put and a long put. The $2.25 is on the short put only. That's your target, okay? Now on the call, again, $2.25. So it's the same amount on the short put and on the short call. Not on the wing. You don't take that into account. It's just on the individual, pardon me. It's just on the individual short. That's what you put in, okay? Now, then what you're going to do is multiple entry iron. The M is multiple entry iron condor or exponential moving average. These are all multiple entry iron condors to make it simple for the smaller traders. The stop losses, I made them all 95% to make it all very simple. I made all the wing widths 50 to make it simple. I made all the profit targets 0 to make it simple. So the only thing you got to worry about is the time and the profit target. Now, here's the problem. It doesn't work that way. The market does not. So this is multiple entry iron condor. So you don't have this stop losses. The stop losses are all the same. And the stop loss is also just on the short. Okay. It's not on the long. It's just on the short. 50 wide wing, 0 profit target, 100% profit target, right? We don't have a profit target on any of these. So all you got to do is worry about the time and the amount of money that you're going to, the premium target, right? And then you put in your stop loss. You don't have to worry about if you're doing at Schwab or in Tasty, you can do one triggers the other, or OTO trades. You want to be sure that your stop losses are single-legged and are resting at the CBOE on the electronic book. I got a whole bunch of videos on that. I'd be happy to go over all that in excruciating detail. Watch that video first, though, okay? So here it is. By profit and loss. Someone says to me, well, I don't have 30,000 buying power. I want to follow along, or I might even put on a couple myself. And so I will share with you what are the most profitable. And by the way, there's no charge for this. If anybody asks you for money for my trades, tell them to go pound sand. That's just not our game. My grandchildren tell me that I can make a lot of money on the internet doing that. And I tell them that sounds a lot like a job. So right now, maybe someday I will, but right now they're all free. I would really like to teach you how to fish though, rather than to give you the fish. Maria says, just give them the fish, but she's half kidding. I want to teach you how to fish. So we are going to probably start some sort of an education course. I started the largest online education company in the world before I took that public, called ecollege.com. And I believe we have taught more people than anyone else in the world by taking college courses from us. Most of the major universities in the United States ended up buying from us and using our system. So pretty proud of that. I am an educator really at heart, as well as a mathematician. So, all right, enough said, enough about me. So let's go on now to, this is on the $1 million account. I'm not going to give you all the trades. You know, it's 125, 150. I reserve the right. By the way, I reserve the right to not do any of these trades, to change these trades without telling you. I may feel like maybe I made a mistake. I don't know. I haven't, to my knowledge, done that since we started on October 1st, but don't get bent out of shape if you hear, if you look at my trades and go, you didn't do that trade or you did an extra trade. Yeah, probably I did. I'm just telling you so you can follow along. I'm not doing it so that you can be trading on it, right? That's what my lawyers want me to tell you. So here it is by 9, you see, we're starting at 947 and we're going, hey, by the way, look at this. Maria's going to be thrilled. We're going to do a trade at 1551 in the small account, but that's going to be over on Schwab. So on the evening thing, you can, on the Monday through Friday, you can vote in the chat room and tell me exactly which to do a put credit spread, call a credit spread, and I'll put that on at 1551. All right, so here they are. I go fast through these. You can pause it on YouTube. You can rewind it. And you can see we are putting on some exponential moving averages. We use the 20 versus the 40. And so you can see there's one right there, and there's one. And here it is by P&L. This is actually not the top 20 trades. I took a splattering. I went through the 122 and kind of just arbitrarily picked some. I tried to pick some times that were different than other times so that you'd have, there are a lot of times, a lot of trades this week at 1207, I think 12012, 1153. I noticed a lot at 947, and there's some later in the day as well. It's a really mixed bag this week. So it varies from week to week. Remember, they're over there and they're moving over here and we're moving over there, and that's just how it works. Pretty straightforward stuff. All right, will I do first 6 out of these 10 or something else? I'm going to do all 10 of them, okay? Because I'm going to use $42,000 of the buying power, and I'm going to use whatever it is, 45. This is $42,000 worth of buying power. It has been over the last 6 months. So what would happen is if I got to, and remember, if both sides of one of them gets punched out, you're going to get more buying power. So, and the buying power gets lower as less and less as you go throughout the day because the wings get narrower and narrower. So the 1551, if I don't have enough, if you try and put on a trade and there's not enough buying power, it just won't put it on. It might put on one side or the other, but that's going to all balance out over time. So yeah, I will be putting on, I don't say 10 trades a day, 6 trades a day. That's where we start. It is a bit, the nomenclature is a bit unfair to people that were not been with us since October 1st. So when I say 6 trades a day and 30,000, that's what we started with on October 1st. On October 1st, we did 30,000 in buying power, and we could only afford to do 6 trades a day. So that's what we did. Now, because the account has gone up, what did we say? Up to 42,000 or 45,000. So now we can do 45,000 in buying power. So that allows us to do up to 10 trades depending on the time of day. Likewise, with the $1 million account, when we started, we could only do $1 million worth of buying power. Now it's up 418,000. So we can do $1,418,000 in buying power. So we can sell a lot more puts and calls. We can sell more spreads. So that's how that works. So Maxwell, I know it is confusing, and I acknowledge that. I apologize for that. But the more you come here, the more you're going to learn on exactly how we do it and what we're doing here. And it is a lot of fun. So did I miss anything? Will you do 6? Why are there 10 times, but you say 6? Good questions for Stratting has the same question. So I think I answered that. Anything else before we call it a day? We are now down 52. I didn't spend much time looking at, hey, you know what? Let's take a look at my Crazy Ivans over here. So the Crazy Ivans, what they are, look at this mess. These were all green the other day. Now look at that. I'm up $1,000, but just by the hair of my chinny chin chin. So notice what's really great, and what Maria points out is my extrinsics 163,000. So what happens is when these go down, your P&L goes down, but the money goes over here to extrinsic. And what extrinsic means is as long as you stay out of the money, you're going to get all this. If I hold these till expiration and they're out of the money, I'm going to pick up another 163 grand, which is great. And you look, what's my worst one here is 22,000. Is that my worst one? Yeah. 22,000. What's it trading at? 24. So it can go down another 2,000 points before I'm in the money. And if it does go down 2,000 points, or if it goes down 1,750, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to close this thing, but what I would do, I would go down here and I would just doink, put that put right there, or I just roll it down and out. And again, all of that is explained in the 5-part series that we have. It's really easy. Last year, I think I rolled 1 to 3 trades down and out. Normally, I roll it out 60 days. I pick up another 1,000 points, 1,500 points. And both of them I rolled down and out. And I closed these at 25% profit, allegedly. But I've been greedy lately because I think Trump's really going to push the market as he's trying to make sure that he wins the House of Representatives so he doesn't get impeached. Or the last 2 years will just be a nothing burger. But which wouldn't be terrible for us, frankly. So I don't have any horse in the race. I really don't care one way or the other. If I was a politician, I'd be terrible. I'd just give away money and buy the votes. But, can't really I can't really complain about people doing that if that's what I would do. So the idea is when these get to 25% profit, we take them off, Maria. And so when we put these on, what we do is we go out, doink, let's take this off. I go out 45 to 60 days. So I would say that's 40, no good. This is 54, that's good. So I would go here, I would go to 12 delta. It's pretty simple without even looking. Boom, boom, ba-doop. And I like to go on the thousands, on the 250s, the 500s, or the 750s. So this one's the 500. It's a 12 delta. It's going to use 13,000 buying power. I'm going to get $4,000 in extrinsic value, and they're going to pay me $4,000. And so I'll buy it back for $3,000, probably in about 14 days is what it normally takes. And I've been doing this for 6 years. This has paid all my bills. The only thing is you can only use 30% of your buying power. And so the game is I kept doing these things for years, and I would have all this buying power, 40% of my buying power. I'd be sitting there with why I got these in SGov or BIL or SGov. They are just treasuries. They're the easy way to get in and out of treasury, and they're making 4 or 5%. This is nuts. There's got to be a better way. And that's when I found out about 0dte's. I thought, oh, hey, this is great. So my primary trade is the Crazy Ivan. I'm famous, or people talk about me because I do so many of the SPX, but that's not my primary trade. The number one, ace in the hole, the real moneymaker is the star of the show is the Crazy Ivan, the naked Qs. And it was naked ES. By the way, I asked Nick Batista and Mike Butler over at Tasty Trade every single day for a year, gun to your head, one trade, rest of your life, what would it be? They said, no doubt about it, ES, naked puts. And I started doing those. And Maria, the back tester that she is, long before any back testing, she started building spreadsheets and looking at it and tracking it and saying, you are out of your mind. You'll make a lot more money in the Qs. And she was right, as she always is. And we switched over to the Qs, and the rest is history. It's never been down. I don't know that there's ever been a down month that we've done it. It just prints money. It's the greatest trade out there. It's really easy. But remember, we talked about why we don't scalp and why we don't do 0dte's on the NQs. And this is why. Let's clear this off. So let's take a look and say, okay, here's the 1 day, right? And the problem is, let's say that you wanted to, you're going to be doing even close to the money. Look, what is this? It's 12. There's 12. Open interest is 12. I mean, that's not going to help us. We need a lot more than that in order to get in this. Look at the spread. The spread is huge. I mean, it's gigantic. It's big freaking spreads. So then we go over to the SPX, and we're going to go. We only got the 1 day, and look at the ones we're trading. Here now, these are only small, but tomorrow these will all be in the multiple thousands. And it's not only that, you're going to see the volume is going to be huge. Right, look at the volume, right? Look at the volume, all kinds of thousands and thousands and thousands. And you go over to the Qs, even on the 1 days, and you're going to look at the volume, and your onesies, twosies, 23s. I mean, that's why the spread's so good. It will kill you. I wish you could, because there's lots of leverage in it. I wish you could. There are some real tax advantages to the SPX. That gets a little esoteric, but just trust me when I tell you there are some tax advantages there. How'd you come up with the 2040 EMA? So, okay. This is a funny story. It's stupid, really. 1 day at Thanksgiving,
my wife served the ham. Maria served the ham, cuts 3 inches off the end of the ham, sticks it in the stove, cooks it. Sit down to dinner. There's a ham. Got wife, her mother's mother, right? And better way to tell a story. Let's not use me as an example. Let's just say a friend of mine did this, okay? Wife cuts off 3 inches off the ham, 3 inches off the ham. Husband says, why you cut the 3 inches off the ham, dear? She said, my mom always did it. So we sat down, and they sat down. Husband turned to the mom of his wife, said, why you cut 3 inches off the ham? She said, well, it's a good question. Always did it because grandma did it. Turned to grandma and said, grandma, why you cut 3 inches off the ham? She said, Rob, I cut 3 inches off the ham, 3 inches off the ham for a very good reason. My oven was too short. Now they got the big oven. My oven was too short. So all these years, whack, 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 they'd be cutting off the 3 inches off the ham, right? So why did we do the 2040 EMA? Because quite frankly, I'm ashamed to admit it, that when I started doing these, and I'd come over from the Qs, I was just looking for something other to diversify from just doing multiple entry iron condors. And there's a guy out there named Dan Yankin, and Dan is an OG from the day one. He's been trading the exact same 6 trades for 6 years. And Dan told me, Rob, I've looked at it, and the 20 versus 40 is pretty good. Good enough for Dan, it's good enough for me. So what I did is I back tested it, and by golly, it was a real good trade. And that doesn't happen, but it's a needle in a haystack. And Dan said, not only here's the haystack, he said, here's the freaking needle. And I, shout out to Dan. And Tammy Chambliss, she was the one that told me about multiple entry iron condors. Again, Tammy said, here's the haystack. And not only that, Rob, here's the needle. Shout out to those two people, because $418,000 later, I'm just copying what they said, right? I put it on steroids a little bit and done a little more back testing, but it's the same trade, right? It's still 3 inches off the ham. So that's why. And I have to tell you, I hired a couple of guys for just that reason, just because you asked that question, because I've asked it of myself. Well, what if we do a 30 versus a 27? And what if we do this or that? Or what about opening range breakout? What about a reverse iron condor? What about a double calendar? What about? And yeah, those all need to be back tested. But let me tell you, when I started back testing just 3 million trades, right? It took me 22 hours to do that. And I felt like this was kind of like a job, and I did not care for that. So now I've hired other people to do it, and we've developed a lot of techniques to do it much faster using AI and just doing a lot of coding ourselves, and built up some pretty significant internal systems. But the point is, it's a great question. Why? Because that's the way it was always done by the OGs. Is that the best way? I don't know. There's something to be said for experience. And the older I get, the more I believe in experience, right? Nevertheless, there's a lot of young bucks out there that come up with new ideas. Great. Anybody comes to me with a new trade, and if you hear about a new trade, feel free to bring it to me. But I will always ask you that same question. How's the back test? Let's run a back test. If you haven't run one, I'll run one. Let's do a back test, and we'll see how it goes. And if it's good, I'll put it on. I am trade agnostic. In fact, I am trade profit curious. So if you find me a profitable trade that back testing supports, I'm all in. I'm looking for more. I'm constantly looking for more. So that's why. Best story. Wasn't sure where the ham was going, but it makes sense, Malachi. Thank you very much. If a crazy Ivan goes against you and goes against you again, do you keep rolling? Yes, we do. Kyle, this is the new person. Kyle, how about that? Great question, Kyle. Yes, if a crazy Ivan goes against us and we roll, we just keep rolling. I am pretty sure Maria will roll sooner than me. Okay, Maria likes to roll when it's 500 points away. Okay, Maria and I don't trade the same. We are very honest with each other, and we argue a lot about it. But our grandkids sometimes say we need marriage counseling because we argue all the time. And she and I look at them and say, well, what are you talking about? We never argue. But that's just how Italians talk, and I've kind of adopted that mentality to talk with my hands while I get all excited. I'm an excitable person. What are you going to do? So what was the question? I forget. Okay, let's see. Oh, so I do always roll down. Yeah. So Maria goes in at 18 delta. She'll go in at like 30 to 40 days, 20 days. So she takes a lot more risk than I do. She makes a lot more money, but she takes a lot more risk. And so then because she's in closer and because she's at a higher delta, she wants to get out she's going to roll it at 500. Her philosophy is, well, I'm going to get in there. And if it goes my way, I'm going to make a lot more money than Rob. If it goes against me, I'll just roll it to where Rob is anyway. Right. And, that's probably true. And you're going to ask me, well, Rob, have you back tested that? And the answer is no, I have not, because they don't have a back test for the Qs yet. If they did, I would have back tested it. I am fearful that what I'm going to find out is she's right. Okay. And if she is, that's fine. I am a little more cautious when it comes to that. I am cheap. I've said that. I've admitted to it. So that's where we are. Okay. Any trades on the VIX? No, I don't do trades on the VIX. Look at, and Maria's on there and she's watching me. She's absolutely right. Is you always got to roll it for a credit. Never roll it for a debit, almost always. Any trades on the VIX? Now, I don't trade anything else. I used to trade earnings. I used to trade strangles. I used to trade lots of different stocks. I found I was just trading water. And the worry factor, all these lines are due to earnings trades. None of them are due to crazy Ivans. Maria trades all these stocks all the time. Tyler, our 30-year-old son, he scalps the Qs, does really, really well on it. That is a young man's game. You got to be really on your game, and it is. If you don't know, it's kind of cool. I don't know if he's out there scalping it right now, but if you go to trade, I'm going to go to, this is Tasty. This is my actual account. Let's go and take this active too. This is crazy. This is crazy what they do. So let's see if this is going to come up and load. I've been doing it in the MMQs as he's been teaching me. Okay, so let's just do the Qs here. We got to do the Qs. /and Q. There we go. All right. And so let's just do one. I just want to do one. There we go. Okay. It's not okay. Well, what is available? Okay. I put in the wrong thing. Where's the Q? There it is right there. Okay. All right. So Tyler goes in and he's going to say like, okay, sell one of these bad boys right here. Boom. And he's going to put it in the order. And I have mine set up to do a spread, right? So that I go in and if it goes down here, I lose. And if it goes up here, I win. But I have not put it in this order. And he freaking loves this. And he makes buku bucks. You can watch how much you make during the day, how much you make on each trade. It shows up in here. It's a whole let me get myself out of the way here. It's a whole bunch of bells and whistles. And it's like a video game, but you can make a lot of money in a hurry. You can lose a lot of money too. You can do the Qs, and I do the MNQs, right? And so the most, like I said, the most I can lose or win is $60 on a trade. And so it's a lot of fun. The commissions are a little, maybe I'm paying, $3-4 on commission. So it's 5%. It cuts into your profits, but it's a lot of fun. Let me cancel this. Let me get some iced tea. So, and this automatically resets in real time. And I turned my computer down because he gets itchy, not trading all weekend. So he usually comes in and starts trading these things. And I don't have it set exactly right. But yeah, he loves it. He loves it. Does NQ still work if you have to use a spread to save buying power in small account? Yes. So Malachi asked a good question. You're the crazy eye. Blue collar options. Look at that. She's processing also. Huh? Isn't rolling still taking a loss if the underlying kept falling without a bounce? Won't this eat up your account? Worst case scenario. No, you just keep rolling it for a credit, and because you're always getting a credit, you're selling it. You're selling the new put. You're selling the short put for more than you're taking the loss in the long on the other one that you're closing out. So that's why it works. You just keep pushing it out in time and down in money. And it's a great trade. It's one that I just swear by. Okay, so let's see here. Does NQ work if you have to use a spread? Yes, sure. Okay, so let's just take a look. So Malachi says, okay, I don't have a lot of buying power. I don't trust you, Rob, which is a better answer. And yes, you can do that. And by the way, you can do this as an MNQ too. It's just it's a little thin. But let's say that I want to go to 12 delta right now, right? And say, well, I don't have 13,000. Okay, that's fine. So what do you have? Let's do this. How about we do this? Now it's only going to take 5,000. You're still going to get $2,000. Okay, how about, and you want to stay on the 250. So how about this? Now this is going to cost you $3,000 in buying power. And you're going to make $1,100. Just remember to get out 25%. The commissions, now you got two commissions. So that's not so good, right? And so what is the commission and fees on this? The commission and fees on this thing is going to be $3.75. Okay, so $3.75 going in, $3.75 going out. So that's $7.50 round trip. It's probably a little bit less. I don't know what they charge you if that's how they charge you. It might be a little bit less. So $7.50. And what did we say we were going to get? We were going to do 12 delta. So we're going to go here and we're going to go, let's say here, right? Is that what we said? Here. So if you do this, you're going to get $795, call it $800, and you're going to make $200, and your commissions be $7.50. That's not bad. That's not bad. And say you do this every 14 days for 26 weeks. Say you lose one or two of them a year. So that knocks out, say, 6 of them or 8 of them. So you still got 18 times $200 is $3,600 on $2,300 buying power. More than 100%. It's not terrible. Not terrible. You just got to understand how to roll it down and out. And you got to be sure you get out 25%. You got to be sure that you go in and you're way out, right? And 12 delta is going to pay enough to make it worthwhile. And it's going to keep your risk pretty darn low. And so you're going in here at 20,500 and here it's at 24,000. So you got 3,500 to play with. And it gets, goes down 2,750. Let's say, somebody blows up somebody and it drops 1,000 points. Next day, 1,000 points. That's fine. Now, the real kicker, that the kind of thing I haven't mentioned was, if you're going to, let's say that you've got, I'm going to make the math easy. I understand. You resize it for yourself. Say that you've got 100,000 in your bank account. You can only use 30% of your buying power because they can raise your buying power and you don't want to get a margin call. So even if it goes way down, they're not going to triple your buying power requirement. So you got 33,000. And so you're going to do, these are 23, let's say these are 3,000 each. You could do 11 of them. So you might want to do, 5 or 6 at the most, and one at a time, maybe one every other day at the most. We'll look for it to be down 300 points, and that's when you're going to go in. Then you want to hold, say, half of them back or a third of them back for when that goes down. Now it goes down 2,000 points. Now these suckers that you were selling for $39, you're going to be selling those for 150. You are going to clean up. I mean, it's going to be gravy train time. Or you can push these things way down another 2,000 points, 3,000 points. And then on those, you can hold those to 100% profit or 75% profit, and you will make some bank, right? And that's why I go to sleep every night. I pray to God, please, God, protect Maria. Please protect Barbie, our dog. Please protect Tyler. And please let the market go down 1,000 points tomorrow. I'm begging you. 1,000 Qs, because that's where we're going to make the most amount of money. So when it goes down, we're going to be able to sell into that down market. Why? Because everybody is going to be over here buying puts, right? They need, oh my God, I'm getting a margin call. The only way I can stop it is to buy a put. Who's selling? Nobody's selling puts now. Who would sell when the house is on fire? Who would sell insurance when the house is on fire? I would. Why would I sell insurance when the house is on fire? Because I'm going to charge you a frickin' fortune. That's why. And then people say, well, how can you morally do that, Rob? It's down. It's a market, okay? These people want to buy it. That's what they're willing to pay. That's what I'm going to sell it to them for. And if they're ill-informed, that's on them. But you know what? Maybe they're not ill-informed. Maybe they put in way too much. Most of them put in too much money in the market. They risked their kids, their wife, everything they got, their house, and I'm giving them protection that to them is extremely valuable. So I'm providing a service to them, and I'm going to keep providing that service as long as it keeps paying all my bills, which it does, as long as you know how to manage it. Okay. All right, so let's see here. He rolls 200 before it's tested. So if the strike is breached or a little bit above, then roll. No. Yeah, Maria's right. No. We roll it long before it gets down here. So let's take a look at my real account, right? This is my real trades. My highest one is at 22,000 right here, right? So if this, right now it's trading 24,000. So when would I roll it? I roll this strike. Let's see, roll my expirations out to 87 days. Here's what I would do. If I was rolling this, right? I would look and I'd say, wow, this is a gigantic credit. I don't need this credit. Can you guys see that? Let me just move it up a little bit. There you go. So it's a gigantic credit down here. I don't need that credit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to boop, boop, boop. Notice I'm rolling this down, down, down. I'm rolling it down, 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 down. Still a credit. Come on, baby. Let's roll this baby down some more. Down, down, down. And 20 credit. Nope. Boop, debit. See that? Debit. No debit. We don't want to do debit. We want to do credit only. All right. So now I don't know if you can see this because I'm covering it up. So let me get me out of this picture for now. Let me just take myself out. Boink. All right. So now you can see I rolled this from 22,000 down to 20,250. So I rolled it down 1,850 points, and I rolled it out from 39 days to 87 days. So I rolled it 47 days. I like to roll it 45 to 60 days. You know, I could roll it a little bit further if I wanted. And look at this. I'm getting 1925 credit. So by the way, this is options chain. Pull this off. So yeah, so we're getting great money. So yes, that's exactly what I do. I roll it down and out, and I do it over and over and over. And Maria does it as well. And it is just, it pays the bills. It really does. I can't say enough good things about it. And I wish I could take credit for it. I cannot. There we go. I cannot take credit for it. That comes from Mike Butler and Nick Batista over at Tasty Trade. And they're doing a great job. And they love it when Maria and I come on. As you can imagine, we're a couple of live wires and, you know, rah, 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 way to go. Oh, and by the way, if you see anything in the back above me, those are thumbnails from actual videos that we've done. We've done 400 or 500, and they're all free. Like I said, please, if you're going to pay us anything, I would really appreciate it if you could make a comment down below. Let's see here. Boink, boink, boink. Here's the trades just so you can see them. So pay us by typing a comment and 3 videos. Is that so much to ask? I mean, I'm not getting any money at all. 3 videos all. Join team. Oh, look at that. It is 325. Maria put that in there. It is 325 because she knew I'd forget. And remember, not financial advice, for entertainment purposes only. Trading is risky. You could lose all your money. Do not copy our trades. I hope you have a great trading night. Anything else? If it's a small credit, you let it expire. No, Lewis, I take it off at 25% no matter what. So if I roll it down and out, if this was any of these were rolled positions and it gets to 25% profit, I'm out of there, right? And I say that with all great aplomb and conviction until I see these were all up. Some of these were up 70% the other day, and I did not get out because I am a greedy old man, and I should not have done that. And then I would have had a lot more in case there was war. Right now, I think I got like 20, 25 left, and it would be great to have 50 in my pocket that I could do if we had a war and it goes way down, but we'll see. But, you know, you see the ones that were done, I put on recently that was down. Look at this, like this one 2 days ago, and it's up 7%. This one 4 days down 22. This one 2 days pretty even. This one down 10 days. It all varies. So, and what else? I got more. Oh, I got more down in here. Look at all these. All right. So that's what we're trading. Thank you guys very much. Have you compared trading times based on different days instead of one set of time for the week? Yes, I have. And it doesn't work that way. What you discover is the herd doesn't move that quickly. There are a lot of myths. I'm doing a video right now on the 7 big myths of 0dte trading. And let me tell you, when you do the back test, it's just like sitting down at Thanksgiving dinner. People tell you it's the 3 inches off the ham. What's the worst day to trade 0dte? You can ask anybody on any YouTube channel, and they will tell you Thursday is the worst day. Not true. Can you guess what the best day has been for me, right? The best day for me in real life. Guess what it is? Did you say Thursday? You are correct, sir or madam. You have ESPN. That is 100% right. Thursday has been the best day. Why do you suppose that is? Let's think. This is called a circle back in comedy. Let's think. Why is it that Thursday in real life is the best day? Could it possibly be that the herd has heard that Thursday is the worst day, so they don't trade on Thursdays, and therefore there's a lot less premium being sold on Thursdays, and now I'm really the only one selling premium. Remember, this is not rocket science. This is the herd mentality. We go where they ain't. And if they're not trading on Thursdays because they heard some guy or gal who seems to be an expert say, well, Thursdays are the worst day. And why do they say that? Ask, have you back tested? No, they haven't. Why? Because they just heard that. Or they traded 3 days. You know, I did 7 million trades this weekend back testing. I'm telling you, the best day is Thursday. Has been for the last 6 months. Has been for me since October 1st. I made more money on Thursday than any other day. Go figure. So that's our circle back. All right. Anything else? You guys have a great trading day. Remember, what time did we say? We said 325 tomorrow. Oh, and remember, also I'm on from 10 to 11 tomorrow on Theta Profits. Go to Theta Profits, 25 traders. I'm on from 10 to 11. Maria's with me. No, Maria's not with me. Then from 1 to 2, Maria's on with a whole bunch of people, but she's on all by herself at 140 to 150. So please watch at 140 to 150 and tell Maria how great she is in the chat room. And then you can see me and Maria at 3 to 4, and at 325, we'll put out our poll, and we'll see which way I'm going to trade at 1351, and then we're going to do it live, and we're going to go nuts. We're going to go crazy. Those people on Theta Profits going to go, they're going to say what everybody says. That guy is nuts. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to have so much fun tomorrow. I cannot wait. I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Then I'd see Maria at 1 and 140. And then I want to see you at 3 o'clock tomorrow. You have a great trading day.